Right, you two order on 2 omelettes, 1 plain, 1 with bacon, please. Let's
Yes,
go.
chef! Chef!
Come on! Speed up! What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Squawk like a pigeon!
I don't think pigeons do squawk, chef.
Squawk like a pigeon!
June. Normally, the month of dunking on hilarious woke-vertising and the multiple backfires. I will admit, it's a little less fun with everything going on right now, and that's okay. Obviously, I'm not complaining. I'm still going to do my job, and maybe it will interest fewer people, understandably so. But Bethesda proved just how hypocritical the woke-vertising really is, just how pathetic and empty it really is. And yet, people continue to gobble it up like the mindless consumers that they are. Now, as usual, I want to point out that I am, of course, in support, and if you had any question, I support everybody's rights, which includes the LGBTQ community, all right? That doesn't mean I'm not going to poke a little fun at some of the woke advertising that companies try to do to give your money. I think of the LGBTQ community as anyone else. Therefore, just like me, ridicule for all of us.
Okay, are you attracted to both binary genders, male and female, or do you find multiple genders beyond the binary definitions attractive? Okay. Okay, well that means you're bisexual. Of course, you're bisexual. Okay.
And this month, of course, marks the best month of the year for woke advertising. And I want to start off with an earlier article and then bring up, basically the perfect microcosm of exactly why I rip on this stuff, all right? Brands struggle to make woke marketing work. Reaching out to a new generation of consumers that grew up skipping ads on YouTube, hey, I didn't know you guys did that, is a challenge for brands. But how do companies show that they are alert to political and social injustice in an authentic way? Well, first of all, most consumers don't give a shit. All right, let me be very clear. I don't care if my company cares about activism. I want them to provide me the highest quality product. I want them to treat their employees as good as humanly possible. I want them to stand by their product. I want them to be priced competitively. On the list of things that I care about when I am consuming something like Legos or video games, that company's social activism couldn't be further from the top of the list. Consumers are more socially aware than ever. They increasingly want to engage with brands that support humanitarian and social issues. Do they? Do they really care? Are people willing to pay $35 for a hoodie that $5 of it goes to rainforest restoration over $20 for a hoodie that's exactly the same? I suppose that market does exist. It has to exist, right? People in Hollywood would. People with more money than time, probably. So sure, it would be ignorant to deny that that market doesn't exist. Although I think it's a stupid way to spend your money. In 2018, a survey by Edelman found that 69% of millennials across the world are belief-driven buyers, suggesting that brands, products, and its principles inspire purchase equally. That is absolutely absurd. Where did you do this survey? San Francisco? If people really cared about ethical companies, why does Star Wars franchise come from Disney continue to make billions of dollars given all of the bad behavior that Disney does? Same company that ignores all the atrocities going on in China because, they have a lot of peoples and they have a lot of money. This is absolute bull. When you ask somebody, okay, on a survey, do you care? Yes, more people respond that they do. But when it comes down to taking 4 screaming kids out of your hair for 2 hours on the weekend, I don't think many parents care who makes their movies and what they do with it. I don't think parents care who make the tablets that keep their kids out of their hair for a few hours a day. I don't think parents care about McDonald's. Otherwise, they would have gone out of business long ago. Yes, People feel righteous when they're on a survey talking about, yes, these things matter to me. But the fact of the matter is, value still is and will always be the #1 driving force in the market. Now, some people do value this stuff, okay? Some people really, really do. But like 1%, maybe, all right? Way more people say they do than actually do when pressed with the actual decision. Gillette's recent The Best a Man Can Be campaign evoked reaction across the industry and among a wider public with its socially charged theme. The slogan was clear diversion from the brand's infamous The Best a Man Can Get, which had been championed for over 30 years. But how did it spark such a controversy? Well, everyone knows. Clothing and fashion retailer United Colors of Benetton has long built a reputation of using shock advertising tactics to respond to wider social justice issues. In 2000, art director Oliviero Toscani created arguably his most controversial and polarizing campaign during 18-year tenure at the company, which featured a prison inmate on death row in the U.S. Capital punishment was a key issue in the presidential race at the time, and he got fired. Why do you think? Woke marketing can backfire if brands send mixed messages. Exactly. And other recent examples are certainly more complicated and highlight concerns regarding the authenticity of brands attempting to create woke advertising, such as Nike's ad in September featuring American footballer activist Colin Kaepernick, you mean activist football player, who controversially left the NFL in 2017 after refusing to stand for the U.S. That's not really exactly what happened. Last year, though, Nike extended his deal with the NFL's uniform supplier to 2028, despite Kaepernick's issue that began in 2016. From a consumer perspective, Nike's stance and position on the NFL's treatment of Kaepernick becomes murky, thus raising the questions about the authenticity of the ad. What about the sweatshops? What about how they used Muslim, essentially slaves in China to make their tennis shoes? Nobody cares about that stuff when they're feeling good, when they're getting that dopamine hit. What it does is it appeals to people's base desire to feel better than the next guy. Even if they know it's just for that moment when they like and retweet something. That is positive reinforcement. That's why this stuff works so good on Twitter. It's a place where people have a thought for an instant and like a goldfish forget about it, but they get that little dopamine hit. Ultimately, if anyone really cared about social justice, they wouldn't buy a single Nike product ever. They wouldn't go to an NBA game. They wouldn't go to Disney movies. They wouldn't buy most of the things they do. But because they're all liars, because I'm really right about people, this is what you get. Bethesda coming out and saying, Happy Pride Month to our LGBT people in Bethesda community. Yay, thanks. Comment, unpopular opinion, but I really wish we could spend more time not caring about each other's sexualities. If I could give you 1,000 upvotes, I would. And then we had perhaps the piece de la resistance.
Excellent. And smells off.
James Nosh points out, this is hilarious. This is the perfect example, okay? 100% real, been laughing for a good 3 minutes straight. Well, it's Pride Month, so, you know, it's time to turn everything rainbow and milk money out of the LGBTQ community. And here you go. Bethesda America, rainbow. Bethesda, I don't know what ANZ is. Is that, must be Australia, New Zealand, maybe? Rainbow. Bethesda France, rainbow. Bethesda Brazil, rainbow. Bethesda Middle East, nope. Nope. Not going to happen, is it? I also believe Bethesda Russia isn't doing it. Why do we think that is? Could it be the inconvenient truth that that stuff doesn't fly in the Middle East? But, you know, I don't want to call out a company like Bethesda while they're raking in the cash from Russian customers. I don't know what PL is off the top of my head. But interestingly, if Bethesda really cared, don't you think they would have rainbow flags in every single Bethesda account? Interesting that they only change their rainbow avatar in nations where it financially benefits them. If they truly believed in LGBTQ rights, why wouldn't they have Bethesda Middle East be rainbow? Why wouldn't they express solidarity with those so marginalized here, in their opinion, in the United States, in a country where they are far more marginalized? Wouldn't that be stunning and brave? oopsie doopsie poopsie, it looks like when faced with the very real reality of losing sales, suddenly Bethesda ain't got time for that gay stuff. They don't have time to advocate for the LGBTQ community, do they? And until Bethesda makes Bethesda Middle East a rainbow icon and Bethesda Russia a rainbow icon, then everything they say in the United States or any of these other markets should be met with a healthy dose of laughter and mockery, because Bethesda never cared about you. They never cared about the gay community. They care about money. And the proof is in the pudding, because the minute it becomes inconvenient for them to stand up for your rights, they don't. Have a great day, Bethesda, though. Stay woke. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.